Good afternoon, everyone. Got a great video. I want to thank RatBlack for putting out the Corvette challenge. Corvette is a car that's pretty special to me, and I'll tell you a little bit more about that as we get going along. But RatBlack Diecast asked everybody to list their 10 favorite Corvettes, and so we'll get started. This is my number 10 offering. This is actually a pretty cool one called an Aerovette. This is a vehicle, this particular casting right here was done by Johnny Lightning. This was a concept car back in the 60s, and it was actually canceled before it went to production. Otherwise we'd see them, of course. The general manager of the project, interestingly enough, was John DeLorean. So you can see a little bit of similarities in what came down the road later from DeLorean. I believe it's the same guy. So this is called the Aerovette. Really a unique Corvette, or member of the Corvette family, albeit a weird cousin. These things were supposed to be produced in 1980, just never made it. Probably was never meant to be. But this is my number 10 car. This is an Aerovette. This has got a metal body, metal base, a little bit of detail on the interior. You see the rear engine there. Look at the interesting lines on it. This particular casting has some black paint on the hood. Kind of a quirky one. Maybe the quirky garage would take an interest in this vehicle. Have a red one, have a black one. I got the black one as part of a package that someone sent me. Same car, just a little bit of wear and pre-use on it. Next one, how about a 1954? This is one of my all-time favorites. I love the lines on this vehicle. This particular model is done by Johnny Lightning. 1953 was the first year of Corvette, so this was the second model year. This is a 1954. The Corvette name, this was the first vehicle to, I guess, have the Corvette name. It was named after a small warship, if you know your naval history. And I don't know why they chose that, but that's where we are, and the rest is history, as they say. This is called a first gen, or C1. C as in Corvette. The first models were available in blue, red, black, or white, and these were the only 2 years, 53 and 54, that the Corvette did not have a V8 available. So this is a Johnny Lightning. See a metal base, metal casting. It's rubber tires. Most of these will have rubber tires. A nice tan interior. Some chrome around the outside of the vehicle. Or excuse me, outside of the interior compartment. Got the Corvette logo right there for you. And the grille on the headlamps is accurate. Really cool vehicle. I've got this one in the blue, and I've also got it in this, I don't know if you call it a canary, not a canary, but just a very light muted yellow, like a pastel. Both of these have a little bit of paint on the tail lamps, and same car otherwise. So we've got the black interior on that one. Moving on, 1978 is our next one. This is my number 8 in my top 10. This is what's called a third generation, or C3. So this year happened to be the 25th anniversary of the Corvette. There is a very famous version of this vehicle that was the pace car at the Indianapolis 500. This is another Johnny Lightning. This one has painted tail lamps with a little drop of white for your reverse lamp. It's got the Corvette logo there. Real riders with some Goodyear tires on it. Authentic rims. Corvette logo. This was not a T-top. This is a hard top. I don't know why they went with a gray interior, but it's okay. And this is the shape. Just a huge departure from the year before, or the series before rather. This year actually, it was the first one that had what they call this fastback rear glass. So that's my number 8. Number 7 will be a 1962. I love this car. This is another Johnny Lightning. This was the last year of the C1 first gen. Don't know if this hood opens. Yeah, it does. We'll give you a peek at that. If I can get it to stay open. It's not going to open much for us. It's an older car, but you can see a little bit of detail on the engine in there. This is a white with the blue, like a Arctic blue scoop. Door handles are detailed, rear lamps, white walls on it, rubber tires, classic wheel covers, and then the Corvette badge on the front. This was the last year that the Corvette had this wraparound glass on it. So that, what did we say? That's my number 6 one. Okay. Number 5 will be a 1963. This was a Grand Sport. This is what Corvette put out in competition with the Mustang and the Shelby Cobra. This Joker had 550 horsepower. This is a 1963. This is a Matchbox casting. The cool thing about this piece that I'm holding in my hand, guys, is if you know Rob at Matchbox Garage, and I encourage you to check out his channel. He does loads of customizing, basically one per day. This is one of his customs. I had sent him a couple packages and he sent me back some customs very graciously. And this has got a fade blue to silver paint job. So this is a custom from Rob at Matchbox Garage. And this will always be special to me. It's on my shelf of my favorite cars. Great wheels on this. Just an absolute total banger that Rob put out on this one. I'm sure you can find his video where he did this one. He's got so many. I just didn't have time to go through them and see if I could find it. Number 4 rather. This is I think it's a 1984. I know some of these guys that know their muscle cars, Ron and RatBlack, you guys can probably correct me. I'm picking 1984 just based on pictures on the internet. This is a Hot Wheels. This one made my list because I remember this car when I was a kid. Like when I played with cars, because it had the opening hood and because it was a Corvette and my dad loved Corvettes, this was always one of my favorites. I remember a red one with red interior and a black top, had the opening hood, might have had gold wheels. It was just my absolute favorite car out of my collection. You can see this one has red interior, which they use for part of the lamps. That is the plastic from the interior on the lamps. Classic Mattel wheels. Rear view mirror. This has got a metal flake green paint job. This is a C4. This was a total redesign for Corvette when this model came out. Moving on. So we got a pretty recent vehicle. This is a 2012. This is an Auto World, and I just think it's just such an impressive representation of a Corvette. That's why I picked this one. I don't have any connection to a 2012 Corvette in general. Little bit about it. This was the last year, I believe, of the C6 model. It's got the double rear tail lamps, which are so iconic. That Corvette badge, which everybody knows. Just a sharp car. That's why I picked this one. It's not an opening hood. It doesn't have a lot of detail on the front for the lamps. But the actual car itself and the wheels, just a great job by Auto World. So 2012 Auto World, that's our number 6. Well, I guess that'd be number 4. My third favorite one can't do a whole lot better than this. This is a Johnny Lightning. This is a C2 second generation. This is what everyone knows as the Stingray. This has rubber tires, loads of detail on the rear, even got a license plate there. I can't tell from here if those are lensed headlamps, probably painted. Check out the badge on it, the chrome trim around the windows, metal flake, awesome burgundy paint job, Corvette logo on it, grilled hood. It's an opening hood. I'm not going to force it open right now. It does open. And look at that front. So this split rear window is what's famous about this car. The following year, I believe, they went to the solid window. This car, just in general, was partly inspired by one of the designer's offshore fishing trips, which they caught a mako shark. This is called a Stingray. That's what everybody knows it as. And it's just a beautiful car. And that's one of the ones that people think of when they hear Corvette. So we'll put our third favorite right here. Number 2. This is a big old car. This is from Racing Champions. This is a 1957. And as a child growing up, this was what I thought of when I thought of a Corvette. This is the color scheme and the year that my dad really liked. And he passed that on to me. This one has rubber tires, just gobs of detail, everything you want, even fuel injection sticker on the trunk. I don't know why I was at a loss for words there. White wall tires. Only thing they could have preferred was maybe a little bit different color on the interior, but you can see they gave you some white to set off the instrument panel and the cluster. You got chrome on the window trim. Red and white is my favorite color scheme for this model. Look at that grille. I mean, you know exactly what car that is when you see that. I don't mind even the white wall tires. You know, this was just a classy version of it right here. This is by Racing Champions. Don't have a lot of theirs. You can see the size difference in their car. And I'm really going to surprise you with my number 1 favorite Corvette, believe it or not, comes from Maisto. There is nothing special about this casting. The wheels are garbage. The paint job is subpar. The logo is out of shape. The wheels are in too much. It is a horrible die-cast piece. However, this car is the exact model that my father passed down to me when I turned 40. It was his dream car, and he saved his entire life, bought it when he was able to, and I got to drive it when I was younger and loved it. I always told him that one day that's what I wanted. Well, he showed up at my house on my 40th birthday, and I don't know if it was because it was breaking down and he wanted to let me absorb the cost, but he gave it to me, and it was the best present I've ever received. So this white Maisto is my favorite Corvette in my entire collection, and it's not because of this car that I'm holding in my hand. It's because of what's in my garage. So, RatBlack, I appreciate this challenge. I enjoyed making this for you guys, and hope that you learned a little bit about Corvettes, and that was a great one. Let's do the next one, guys. Talk to y'all later. Thank you.